Oh, are we live? I think we are live. I've done one of these in a long time. Jesus, this giving me, this giving me, this giving me 2K what was it, 17 vibes. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. 2K17 vibes with this. Jesus. Well, I didn't want to go through OBS again because I didn't feel like setting that up. So I was just like, well, we can just do it like this. To be honest, just like, yeah, just go in the PS4 party. We're not gonna play anything. We're just gonna talk. All right. Let's see, what we got in here? Yeah, man. Shoot. See what we got in this place. As I promised, guys, I went out for a second, so I never got to do this immediately after the show. But if you guys missed the show, you had a chance to go back and watch some of it. And I gotta say, man, that was probably the somebody said that this was the best universe mode that they ever seen. I don't know. I take it as a compliment, but hey, but I feel like this show has its issues, but we'll talk about it in just a second. Let's share this thing out, get some more people in here. See what we got. See who in the chat. We got Picky in the chat. John Henry, what's up, man? We got Blake in the chat. Hey, man, how you doing, Blake? Appreciate it for y'all for stopping in here on this short notice. I'm gonna tweet the little show out. See if we get some more people in here. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about the show. And then we'll talk about what's coming up next. Cause good thing is Raw and NXT are done. I just have to let Raw process and do commentary. And NXT is already sitting down, and all I need to do is just set a premiere. And so you should see those shows next week. So you don't have to wait that long for the weekly shows. But we're gonna talk about this show today, and you guys will get the first ever CTP podcast hopefully in the next 2 weeks, where I sit down and talk about the first week of season 7. What I liked and disliked from all the scripts I had, what brand did well, what brand I liked the most doing, and my experience as I edited all 3 shows. But yeah, I'm not gonna waste y'all time here. Let's get started. I'm gonna go over things y'all missed because for one, the music was too loud, so you guys missed some details, and a lot of people are going to be confused for Raw if I don't say these details. But I will talk to you guys in just a second in the live chat. But I'm going to pull up the stream, but pull up the show. So this show, I gotta say, the rematches from WrestleMania were miles better than WrestleMania matches itself. Because the majority of the rematches were matches that I did. Like that Banks and Bailey one. I don't think the Banks and Bailey one from WrestleMania was better than the one at the draft. I don't think that. Also the what was it? What else match I thought was from WrestleMania? I gotta look at the card again. Oh, I have the card right here. I forgot. I written it down. But a lot of these matches from WrestleMania were, the draft counterparts was better. And that goes to show you the criticism. Oh yeah, Ian Ali, yeah, that for sure. Much better than at the draft than it was at WrestleMania. Yeah, Banks and Bailey too. Yeah, and those were the only 2 WrestleMania rematches we had on the show. Everything else was brand new. But I gotta say, this show was better than WrestleMania Night 2 for sure. There was some matches that were better than, I will say, Takeover Las Vegas matches and Night 1 matches. And I'll tell y'all exactly, in my opinion, which ones was better. But This was, for my first edited show, not a bad show. But despite the music issues, a little editing mistakes, which you can tell by, and the 360p thing, that was my fault. The 360p thing was my fault because I thought that the show was rendered last night, but it actually wasn't, and that was my fault. You see, with NXT, I uploaded that days in advance, so it's fine, and it has the HD version, and you won't have that issue when that premieres. Third Strike, shouts to Third Strike, he taught me where to actually see the HD version, and he says to be on the safe side, you premiere when the HD version is available. So now I know, and that mistake won't happen next time. So I apologize. The quality is currently fixed, so you guys want to go back and watch the show in better quality, you guys can. The quality is currently fixed, but I apologize to the premiere crew for that little mistake. Music, I gotta admit, I didn't know the music was gonna be that doggone loud. I thought I fixed my settings on one of the musics, and I turned it down, and I had it exactly how the match card was, but apparently it didn't do it for all of them. So I'm gonna talk with Gabe about, you know, importing music and how to play around with that, as I'm going to be adding some music to the future episodes. So music will be a factor, don't worry. But we will get that fixed for next episode. I apologize again. Hornet, poor Hornet. I mean, he was making his commentary debut, and I was just so embarrassed because the music kept playing, and I had no idea it kept playing. You know, until like the premiere happened. You know, that was my fault again. But that won't happen again. I promise. I'll need to make sure I edit every single bits and pieces of music I have, so it doesn't overrun into matches. Because Filmora, the sweet thing about it is you can stop a track whenever you feel like it. And I should have went back and watched the entire show before I looked at and made sure I could have caught those errors. But yeah, and then the one with the opening match, yeah, that was a Share Factory mistake on me. You notice I didn't zoom in all the way, so it looked clunky and it looked terrible. I apologize for that as well. That was a Share Factory mistake. If anybody picked up on that, that was the opening. It was the only opening. Every other match was perfectly fine, perfectly zoomed in perfectly. But you can see some of the Share Factory things on the match, and I was literally embarrassed. I was going to share this show in like the big YouTubers Discords, but I was just so embarrassed at the show, I didn't want to do it. The quality really killed my vibe. You know, the quality made me embarrassed because, you know, if the quality wasn't an issue, I probably, despite the little errors, you know, it would have been easier. But I learned my lesson from that, and what I did for Raw and what I did for NXT is I did the matches, and I upload them separately or upload them in a big old part, and I'm gonna just do commentary and film more. You know, that's exactly what I did for NXT, and NXT had no issues. So but for the draft, I didn't want to do that because I had other special guests, and I felt like, you know, doing individual commentary, you know, before, it wouldn't have tangled with the special guests. But I realized Filmora, I didn't notice, and I realized while I was editing last night, it allows you to do commentary on any clip you want, and if the other clip has commentary, it's going to automatically stop your commentary. I didn't know that until last night. So for future references, because I will have more special guests as the months go on, I'm going to just do my matches in Filmora, and I can stop it when I want to, and it won't interrupt the other guys, because as long as it has audio under it, it's not going to record it. So now I know that for future references. But yeah, those were the issues. Let's talk about individual matches. The first match, which the card changed, because we realized the card had changed, and some people picked up on this, but some people didn't realize it. But the card changed. Originally, Gargano versus who was it? Gargano versus Murphy was not supposed to be the first match of the evening. Yeah. With Fillmore, you can do that. You can just put commentary on or sound or commentary on clips that don't have it. I realized that while I was doing the voiceover for the rounds last night. I was like, wait, it's not picking up on the matches. So I'm like, you know what? I could just do live commentary then in here while I'm editing the show as I go on. I just say, oh, okay, here's my match. It was 17 minutes. Do a little commentary and go on with my business. So yeah. So, well, first off, Drew McIntyre, we felt like did not have to be at this show. We didn't really have anything for him to do. Every other match, you know. The card had changed. So let me address McIntyre wasn't here because we felt like he didn't need to be here. We felt that Adam Cole versus Apollo Crews was the bigger match instead of doing a rematch between McIntyre and Crews. If I would have got my way, I probably would have done Dream and McIntyre just for kicks to close the show. But when I was making this show, Dream was in hot water. He was in hot water when this show was the card was getting made and was in production. He was in hot water. So I didn't want to risk my channel and didn't want to risk my image by closing him on this show, because I made the switch at WrestleMania, which I'm gonna talk about in the podcast with J and W whenever we get a chance to record that. I did the same thing at WrestleMania with him, switched him. But I wanted to do McIntyre and Dream for kicks, because that was supposed to be the WrestleMania main event. And I wanted to do it at the draft because I thought, okay, Dream might be done. He might be cleared. His name might be cleared. You know, there might have been no evidence by this point in time. But then another allegation came out. So I'm like, oh, come on. So I just say, you know what? I'm not going to risk my channel. I'm not going to risk nothing. I'm just going to keep him off the show. That's why McIntyre didn't have a match. Because if I would have had my way, McIntyre and Dream would have closed this show. They would have. They would have closed this show. I promise. There were some matches that were scrapped. Originally, Rollins Open Challenger was going to be Mojo Rawley, but we scrapped that. Mojo Rawley was not drafted, and Mojo Rawley, I believe he was not drafted. If I'm not mistaken, I'll double check that. But we felt Mojo and Seth was, it wasn't going to be as big as Seth versus Mark, and as you guys can see from those spots, I don't think Mojo Rawley would have pulled off some of those spots that Mark Andrews hit, because that match was great. That match was really, really good. One of my favorite matches of the night. Well, yes. Okay, so I forgot the Hype Bros was drafted. So we felt like it was the Hype Bros already, and we felt like Mojo being by himself made no sense. So we just scrapped the match altogether. Because the original idea was he was the one-man Hype, but that made no sense because Hype Bros was going to be a tag team in the next season. So we just scrapped it. So that was one of the matches that was scrapped. Two matches were scrapped. It was the World Heavyweight title match, because I couldn't do that because Dream was in hot water, and he still is. And it was Mojo and Seth for the U.S. title. Cruz versus Cole was always the plan, because I felt like that could have been great, and I always wanted to do it. and that was my chance to do it. And I had so much fun with that match. That match was awesome. I had really so much fun, because the draft was all about dream matches and matches that, you know, you can get behind, and it was about putting some talent over, which I think a lot of guys got over on this show. And I think a lot of you guys are gonna love what we do with them in the next season. But let's run it down. Gargano versus Murphy. Now, not gonna lie, the only thing I didn't like about this match was that powerbomb. When it was that powerbomb spot. If I can go back and do it, I wouldn't have done that powerbomb spot. This match flowed very well. It was already the first match. It was already better than all of my WrestleMania matches at WrestleMania Las Vegas. When I was making this show, it was after Vegas. Most of these matches, I got slammed. People slammed me for my WrestleMania Las Vegas matches. The majority of everybody that watched WrestleMania Las Vegas said I had the worst matches of the night. I felt like if I didn't have guests, WrestleMania Las Vegas would have been a complete nightmare. I'm dead serious. It would have been a nightmare of a show, both nights. But I'm so glad, and I felt like guests saved that show. We'll talk about that show on the little podcast. But guests saved that show. So I went into this show determined to put the stink of my WrestleMania matches out. I wanted y'all to say, okay, I see improvement. Okay, we not having this in season 7. No. And a lot of people made the comments, especially on certain matches, if this was a Cole match in season 6, that it wouldn't have ended right there. You know, he would have kicked out. A lot of people made those comments in the chat, and they messaged me on Twitter and Discord about that. I came into this show personal. I was like, you know, that Michael Jordan meme, it became personal for me, because let me tell you something. Comments like the guest saved your show, that gets to you, you know, because I felt like you're telling me if I didn't have guest matches, WrestleMania Las Vegas would have been a critical failure, because all my matches were terrible. Well, the majority of the matches that I did, I either ran too long, had botches, or was just plain bad. You know, and I couldn't have that. I could not have that on my resume, you know, as a content creator. And, you know, then the pressure to deliver WrestleMania after the critical success of the Royal Rumble, and it's still the most viewed Universe Mode video on this channel. The Royal Rumble is. I felt like I didn't deliver WrestleMania, so I said I had to come here and deliver. It was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If I wanted to keep people around for season 7, I had to deliver. And I think all my matches delivered tonight. All of them. You can point out a couple of spots that, you know, shouldn't have happened. But you couldn't say all those matches ran too long. No, they didn't. All those matches were perfectly paced. All those matches did not run its course. No, it did not. And they ended the right way. Especially that Johnny. We'll talk about that Samson match in just a second. Oh my God, I love that match. But besides the superplex, this was very, very good. And I can get behind Buddy Murphy. I think Buddy Murphy is going to have a bright future in my series. The guy can go, and he has character. And that's the important thing, having character. When you have character, you can go. You can go a long way. Tell you something about universe modes. A lot of people not going to like what you do with a certain somebody, but if you give them character, and you give them a nice look, and you portray them the right way, you can push whoever you want to. That's the truth. And great universe modes push people that you least expect. to push. And that's what you're going to see on NXT. That's why, you know, when I'm looking back at it, when I'm looking at the NXT roster, that's what I expect to see from them next season. Because they're going to push people, in my opinion, you know, that can go, that can wrestle and have character. And that you least expect to be in the main event. Not saying that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. NXT got a star right here. And a lot of y'all was marking out when Buddy Murphy won that belt. That means I did my job and I made the right decision at WrestleMania by giving him the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's a good feeling for me because, you know, he was the perfect winner to win. I felt like if I would have put Nate Shields in that position against Gargano, Nate Shields is still green. Most of y'all don't know what Nate Shields is yet. So him losing that battle royal was good for him because, you know, that was his first match. You know, he's gonna have his first singles match coming very soon. You know, that was a good thing that Shields lost because Buddy Murphy made the perfect sense to win that match, and a lot of y'all loved it. And look, it only took one Murphy's Law. First of all, one Murphy's Law beat Johnny Gargano. Let that sink in. That's a good thing. That's a good thing because, that's a good thing because it didn't run its course. You didn't need 2, 3, 4 Murphy's Laws to beat Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano was already established as a Rebel Heart. Johnny Gargano's IC title reign was established. He already established his IC title reign for what he did from the last WrestleMania to this WrestleMania and tonight at the draft. He was already established. And I knew taking that title off of Gargano and doing what we did with Gargano is gonna make him a bigger star and a bigger deal because now he has a brand new character that you have not seen in my universe mode before. Gargano has always been a babyface. Always. Since Gargano has been a babyface since I debuted him over 2 years ago. He's been a babyface. I never turned him heel. Never turned him heel. This is the first time Gargano has been a heel in my series. So let that sink in. And think about that when you're watching Raw, which you will see very soon. So this did his job. It got Buddy Murphy over, and it planted the seed for what you've seen from Johnny Gargano actually in the next match. Next match on the card, King Dar versus Finn Balor. This was straightforward. You know, King Dar was the biggest NXT star that I made last season. And that could be a good thing and a bad thing. Because NXT had the likes of Kenny Omega and freaking Cody Ibushi on the brand. But King Dar was the most popular out of everybody in NXT. This match was a dream match. This match was a match that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to see the guy I most protected on SmackDown, that I built up from the ground up. You know, that I put my time and effort building up. You know, and Finn Balor take on the guy I did the same thing with on NXT. Taking my time and effort building that guy up into a star and having them go at it. And boy oh boy, they tore the house down. They tore the house down. You know, I gotta give credit where credit due for Expert. You know, he made a great match. He did. And Hornet, if you're watching this, dude, let me tell you something, Hornet. Don't be ashamed. For your commentary debut, dude, you did great. You did great. Hornet delivered on this match, on this show. He did. You know, great job. Hornet knew the moves. Hornet knew what he was talking about. Hornet paid attention to the story. Hornet paid attention to TakeOver. He paid attention to the WrestleMania. Everything he talked about, he nailed. He nailed. That's the spirit of a great commentator. And for your first matchup commentating on this channel, people received it very well, and I'm proud of you for that. Great job on it. Match itself, solid match. You know, I didn't expect when I was looking at the match, you know, how quick people laughed at the end. I'm like, I laughed too, because I was like, okay, so Gargano turned heel and he left, and Vince came out and said, nah, cuz we're not having it at the draft, and he restarted the match. So I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna go 2-3 more minutes, right? Nope. Dar swooped in, the match restarted, 1, 2, 3, and everybody in the chat was laughing like, that's it. That's it. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, I felt that part sold the Gargano heel turn, because once the heel turn happened, the match was over. That's it. No more. The match is done. You know. So solid stuff right there. You know, and a great, you know. Yeah, that was probably the funniest part of the match. You know. But people didn't realize until they seen this, until they later on in the show, they was like, okay, that sold the heel turn. You know. But what I kind of wish was, you know, I kind of wish Dar didn't pin Balor. Let me tell you why. Because it said you could have had it end in DQ, and it would have made the heel turn more, because people would have been mad at Johnny more, because they were like, you just ended a great match in DQ. We would be like, oh, come on now. Then people would have been mad at him more than they are now. And I felt it could have set in stone a rematch between Dar and Balor, because the story is there. We never got a winner if the DQ finish would have happened. In the back of my mind, I kind of wish the match wasn't restarted. In the back of my mind, I kind of wish the DQ would have been it. You know, Gargano turned heel. That's it. You know, it looked like a bit of overbooking, but you know that it as a content creator, you look back at it and you say, yeah, you know. I don't think the Gargano to think he. Okay, I can't. I don't know why YouTube's cutting that off. I can't see. Hold on, let me pull this up. YouTube cutting y'all off. I don't think so. The Gargano heel turn led to a DQ, which the match restarted and ended instantly. Yeah, I mean, how long was the restart of the match? 5 seconds? It was 5 seconds. That was probably long. It was shorter than the freaking than Samson and freaking Lewis at Mania. It was shorter than that. You know. Right. Cause when you look back at it, long match, DQ, Gargano's a face, then he's a heel. Vince comes out, match restarts, and then Dar retains in seconds. That's a lot that happened during those 21 minutes that match and segment was on. A lot happened in 21 minutes. A little bit, you know, a little bit overbooked. Little bit. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. Hornet did a solid job selling everything. You know. But yeah. Well, you don't really see Vince McMahon in my series. You don't. The only time you see him is around WrestleMania in the draft, pretty much. Vince is just, and the story about it is he's just backstage, and he just calls the shots, and he just lets the general managers do the most of the talking. I never have Vince as a prominent role in my series. It's always GMs that are the prominent role, and they're only there to fill in gaps in stories. Sometimes I have authority feuds with GMs, but not really. He's not really seen. The only time I use Vince is to like announce like the next year's WrestleMania, or announce the next year's whatever, like like city locations, or big things like a draft or something like that, or big things like to start up and say, oh hey, we're gonna have a shake up or something like that. I have Vince do that. He's in that role, but he's not in stories or nothing like that. Because actually the story is technically he's under me, because the story is, well, how the universe story is, I never explained this, but technically I run WWE, and Vince McMahon, I'm his boss basically, because he's coming to me to help save WWE's ratings basically, because when when I took over, the company was going downhill, and I'm trying to bring it back up. It's a weird story that I came up with over 7 years ago. I never explained it when I got to YouTube. I always stated that Vince is there, but he's not in a prominent role. He's not the CEO. I'm technically CEO, because I run the whole thing. But yeah, it's kind of complicated, but I never really explained it. One day I will explain everything and how everything works. But yeah, good question. I honestly don't even know what Vince is. I'm gonna say he's just there. He's there. Yeah, that's just I run WWE. It's my vision. It's just what I want to see fit. I'm in control of everything. Basically. But yeah. Well, yeah, Gargano. But here's the thing: Gargano been the face for 2 years, boss. I said that earlier. He's been the face since he debuted. And then all of a sudden, one match later, after losing to Buddy Murphy, he just turns heel all of a sudden. Kind of looks crazy, if you ask me. Yes, I need to do that. We'll talk about that in just a second, Picky. Let me finish talking about this match, and I'll talk about the new champs as we get into the rounds. I will tell you all round-wise who I thought won and had the best talent. But having the best talent, in my opinion, don't really mean jack stuff. It's all about the stories. It's all about the stories and how they're told on TV. This is just my opinion. You guys might think different than me. That's understandable. Some people said that Raw was going to have the best roster. Some people said that NXT was going to have the best roster. Some people said that SmackDown's was going to have the best roster. But that's just going to be my opinion, round by round, who I thought won each round. Because again, I will tell you guys at the end, or in just a second, the new champions, what brand they're on, and who is helping me with each show as individually. And all of the production team will, for their individually show, will get credit in the description of every single episode, with their Twitter, YouTube, or whatever else they have, and Instagram if they have Instagram, each episode. And they come up with the episode title. They come up with the episode. Well, they come up with the episode title, and they come with the episode description. So I ain't gonna write nothing, basically. Well, except NXT, I do NXT description. That's it. But Raw and SmackDown's actually description is actually they give me some things to write in the description. And I remember for SmackDown, their description is done for me. With the links, the channel, the channel link, the Twitter link, and all that. All I gotta do is just copy and paste, which saves me so much time. I love SmackDown's so organized. You see, I love SmackDown because I got the script and it's your script written out. Then I got the description written out already too. So all I gotta do is just type the little episode title, copy and paste the description, and then boom, I'm done. Then let it render. And that's it. See, shout out to SmackDown. I like that. Anyways, we'll take a break for matches, and I want to talk about the champions, because this is very, very confusing for all of you. Because if you didn't know, everybody was eligible to be drafted, including champions. And how we did this is, I'm going to give you an example. It actually happened here. Adam Cole went to Raw, which means the WWE Championship went with him. So what happened with the World Heavyweight title is that it went to SmackDown. But here's the thing. SmackDown took King Dar, and he was the NXT champion. So what happened is, since he was the NXT champion, King Dar, he took the World Heavyweight Championship. So that, you following? So King Dar took the World Heavyweight Championship. So then NXT picked Drew McIntyre. So that means Drew McIntyre became the NXT champion because he was the World Heavyweight Champion. That's how we did it. If you're confused, the writers can explain to you more in detail in the chat if anybody's confused. But that's how it was explained to me. And that's how we did it. I'm going to go over the roster in just a second too. But I want to go over champions first. So Raw's brand new champions are as follows. Adam Cole is your brand new WWE champion. He was drafted to Raw. He is the WWE champion. I never explained this during the draft, but your brand new Intercontinental champion is Jay White. I hope I believe that's correct. Yes, it should be Jay White. Yes, Jay White. I'm correct. Oh, Blake. Scratch that. There is no main roster. Not in my series. I don't host a main roster. All brands are equal. All. There is no such thing as a main roster. There is no such thing as you getting called up. You don't get called up. When you go down to NXT, you're going to a legit third brand. There's no main roster. I don't use the term main roster in my series. I say they went to NXT. They went to Raw. They went to SmackDown. It's 3 legit brands. So, KO and Sammy are not on the main roster because they don't exist. They just went to Raw. They're now Monday Night Raw superstars. That's it. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying again? Oh, I was going over champs. I'm sorry. Yeah, there is no developmental. I don't have a developmental system. I say there is a developmental system, but you know, it's called OVW. That's our developmental system. You want to have one, you know. Ohio Valley Wrestling is our developmental system, and it's not televised. No, you go down there, you train, and you become a WWE superstar. I don't understand why would I say that when freaking Aleister Black, who was just WWE champion last season, went to NXT, and he's going down to developmental? That makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. Why would the guy that main evented WrestleMania Las Vegas, all of a sudden he's in developmental? No. Get that out of here. We don't have that. There is no developmental system here. Shout outs to my bookers. They actually got me to not do that term. Because the term actually made absolutely no sense to do when you have top tier superstars in NXT. Why would you call it a developmental system? Just call it the third brand. NXT's the third brand and could easily be the best brand if booked correctly. You know? So that's how I see it. The Raw Tag Team Champions, Blake, as you said, are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for Raw. And the Raw Women's Champion is Shayna Baszler. Remember, Shayna Baszler was the NXT Women's Champion. So she was drafted to Raw, and she is now the Raw Women's Champion. Now, SmackDown, their champions, if you don't follow me on Twitter, please do so if you have a Twitter. But CTP SmackDown posted that their new champions are as follows. The World Heavyweight Champion is Noam Dar, or King Dar, whatever you want to call him. The United States Champion is Seth Rollins. So Rollins won his match. He beat Mark Andrews, and he went to SmackDown. So now he's the United States Champion on SmackDown. As the Intercontinental Champion is Jay White, as Raw has the IC title. The IC title and United States title switched brands. SmackDown Tag Team Champions are the Street Profits. They were the Raw Tag Team Champions. And now they're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions because they went to SmackDown. And the SmackDown Women's Champion is Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey beat Bianca Belair at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. She got drafted to SmackDown. And now she's the SmackDown Women's Champion. And finally, NXT's champions. The NXT Champion is Drew McIntyre. The NXT North American Champion is Buddy Murphy. The NXT Women's Champion is Sasha Banks. The NXT Tag Team Champions are Sanity, which includes Rob Havoc. Rob Havoc, for the first time in this series, is NXT bound. NXT Global, and Cole Train Jr., by the way. NXT Global Champion is Keith Lee. And the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, as the Cruiserweights are now an NXT. Right. So what J&W said right there, my freaking PlayStation, puts the words weird. But yeah, Raw and SmackDown title locations could switch, NXT could not. Yes. So the Raw and SmackDown titles could switch, but the NXT could not. Because why would I have the North American title on Raw? That don't even look right. So we didn't do that. The Cruiserweights are now NXT bound. Which means the NXT Cruiserweight Champion is Mike Kanellis. I'll give you guys a little preview of the pay-per-view schedule. So, Raw's first show post-WrestleMania is Vengeance. We're going back to the brand exclusive pay-per-views. We haven't had a brand exclusive pay-per-view since October in this series. In Game Time, which was Hell in a Cell, and I believe Super Showdown was the last brand exclusive pay-per-views. We're doing Vengeance for Raw. SmackDown will host Backlash next season. For the first pay-per-view, first brand pay-per-view of the season will be Backlash. And the first takeover, which we announced actually right before Takeover Las Vegas on NXT, if you missed it, the first takeover of the new season, which you will see June in Game Time, which is not that far away, in Game Time, it's NXT Takeover Chicago. That's our first takeover. That is in 8 weeks, boys. And then the following 8 weeks, we will host NXT Takeover New York. I think it is, because we switched one of the locations. But I gotta get confirmation. I believe that's Takeover Atlanta or New York. I will look and double check that. But yeah, the SummerSlam weekend takeover. Alright. Champions are complete. Now y'all know all the champions. Because I know I want to apologize when I was doing the rounds. I didn't give this is my only complaint about the show. I didn't give myself enough time to talk, so I never explained all of those big moves that could have had people confused. But there will be a Google Doc that is being created and that will launch very, very soon. That has everything dealing with CTP in it. Give us some time. We're still modifying that Google Doc to make sure it doesn't contain any spoilers for future shows and stuff like that. And we have to update it because we have been doing trades. So give us some time with that. And you can check that Google Doc every month. I will update the next pay-per-view every month. That in game time, this pay-per-view, I will update for the next pay-per-view. I will update roster changes and all that on that Google Doc. So give us some time with that. Because that's exactly what I'm reading this information off of Google Doc. Google Docs have become my best friend. Because I have one for the Universal War and I have one for this series. It's my best friend. Helps me keep organized on all the series I have and schedules and everything. Ooh. Malik wants to edit? How fun. I might DM Malik. Shoot. Cause I might need a break from editing one of these weeks. Alright. What else I gotta cover? Oh, the rest of the draft. So, expert commented on the draft. Yeah, I was talking about the matches. He said, when it comes to the Gargano, I'm just seeing this, by the way. When it comes to the Gargano heel turn thing, I recorded the match way before I knew about the Murphy match. Even I admit the match could have gone on longer after it restarted. Let's be honest, in real life, Vince heel one week and the face the next week. Vince is Vince. Yeah. Vince is Vince. And, yeah. Alright. So I understand why he can't talk about it in the chat. But yeah, it was a little bit of miscommunication, you know, because some of these matches were made and recorded before a final card was finalized. So when he recorded that heel turn, Murphy and Gargano wasn't made to be official yet. And it was a little bit of misconception on me because I recorded my match thinking Gargano wasn't going to turn heel. You know, if I knew that Gargano was going to turn heel, I would have had Gargano's heel entry. He would have came down to the ring as a heel and everything. You know, and then it could have made more sense. What it should have been is Dar and Balor kick off. Gargano turns heel. Then later on in the night, he has his match and Murphy beats him. Then again, that would have devalued the heel turn and made Gargano look a little weak. You can argue you couldn't have won with any decision that would have been made. Because if he turned heel at the beginning of the show, then lose the title later on, you can argue, okay, it would have made Murphy look very good, because Murphy would have been like a big baby face. Because like, god dang, you just beat the guy that just turned heel. You know, so that would have been a big deal, you know, depending on how we would have did it. But I felt like no matter how we placed that, it would have been confusing. No matter how we placed it, you know. Yeah, I forgot about this. Oh, I was gonna talk about it on actually. Well, I can say it here. Jackson Riker was supposed to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. But you know why he didn't win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania? Was because of in real life stuff. Apparently Jackson Riker is a racist. Or he has done racist things. In his past. Or current day, not in the past, current day. This year. So that's why I didn't give Riker the Intercontinental Championship. Because you notice how I was building up Jackson Riker, he was supposed to win that triple threat. And Gargano wasn't even supposed to be here. That was the issue. So originally, we gave Gargano something to do to set up the next season, was have him turn heel in that match. And I was like, that's a good idea, because Gargano needs something to do. And he needs a character change. And meanwhile, the Intercontinental Championship was going to be defended. It was going to be Cesaro versus Riker. You know, and for the Intercontinental Championship. And I think Cesaro was supposed to win that belt. But those plans got nixed because we felt like, okay, those plans got nixed because we felt like, okay, well, we can't do that because it would have made Riker look weak if he would have lost the title just 2 nights after winning it. So it would have made him look weak. So somebody convinced me, just said, Cole, look, don't give him the Intercontinental title. Let Gargano retain. Let Murphy win the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And just let Murphy beat him. See, a lot of things were going through our head, and a lot of ideas was pitched for this show. You know, either way, we was guaranteed a new Intercontinental Champion, no matter what we would have decided. It was either going to be Cesaro or freaking Johnny or Buddy Murphy. One of them was going to be it. You know, I just realized that I was going to talk about that on the WrestleMania podcast, but I just revealed it here since we're talking about it. But yeah, that was the original plan before plans had changed with Gargano retaining, because when I was doing WrestleMania and preparing my decisions for who goes over and who didn't, Gargano was penciled in to lose. He was penciled in to lose that match. But a lot of controversy combined with the draft, I nixed them, and I just had him go over. But yeah, that's why that match looked out of place to where it was, and you know, had all that stuff go down in one match, because it was supposed to set up Gargano's next feud. It did that, but it gave us a little bit issues. Oh, I love SmackDown. Look at that. Give me all my stuff I need. See, y'all awesome. All right, Samson versus Evil. Oh, I recorded. My nerves was so bad for this match because I knew I couldn't mess this up. I knew I couldn't, because Lorenzo Samson is arguably the most popular call we have right now. You know, Dwayne Frost, you can argue, was the most dominant call towards the end of season 6. He just ran through everybody and bulldozed his way through the roster. But Lorenzo Samson, that dude just built different. That's a bad man. I don't care what any of y'all say. That dude's a beast. And when we were making the draft call, I said, we gotta do this match. We gotta do it. Because somebody pitched to me, they said, Cole, why don't you go back to 2K19? Why don't you use both games in season 7? And you know, I believe this was Expert. He said, I will make both arenas for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and if needed, pay-per-views. So you can go back to 2K19 and use both games, 19 and 20 next season. And I was looking and I was like, I never deleted Johnny Evil, because the reason why Evil was written off, fun fact, he was written off because Third Strike was not going to make him in 2K20 because how bad the game was. I was supposed to continue the Johnny Evil storyline into 2K20, and if I did, a lot of things you've seen wouldn't have happened. If I did, the Vince Diamond would have never gotten over like he did. Diamond would have never gotten over like he did. Lorenzo Sampson would have never gotten over like he did. That the Wayne Frost run don't happen. It don't. If Johnny Evil is in 2K20, that the Wayne Frost run don't happen. That Brian Perkins run don't happen. Brian Azul would have been a bigger part of the tail end of season 6. You know, Samuel Lewis wouldn't have had that fall that he did. He probably still would have been as popular as he is right now, or as he was. You know, I don't think Samuel Lewis lose that belt like in the fashion that he did if Johnny Evil's there. I don't think he does it. Yes, he was. The Wayne Frost was going to be bought in. The Wayne Frost was always going to be bought in, but he would have been bought in on a whole different landscape than he was originally. Because he came in and he filled what Johnny Evil was going to be. He filled that evil role. You know, Johnny Evil not being there changed a lot of things, because I lost my star. That was my star. He carried the call division on his back. He was the single most popular call I had at the time. Him and Samuel Lewis carried that division. And I was like, man, I gotta revisit Evil versus Lewis in 2K20. And that was the way I was going. I was gonna revisit that feud in 2K20. But the game got broken. The game was broken. It was a mess. Third Strike said, I'm not creating Johnny Evil in this game. So I had to write him off. So I wrote him off. He tore his ACL. And I said that it's doubtful that he might never return back to WWE again, because his character was in limbo. I was like, will I ever get Johnny Evil back again? And then Expert came along and said, hey, I'll make the arena in 2K19. I'll do it for all 3 brands and pay-per-views if you need it. And I was like, man, you gave me a bright idea. Let's bring Johnny Evil back. Let's do the guy that carried the call division in 2K19 against arguably the guy that is arguably the most popular guy right now. And that's how that match happened. And get this, folks. The match was 8 minutes and 47 seconds. It didn't feel like that. It was well, because let me tell you why. It was well paced. You didn't feel like the match was 8 minutes and 47 seconds. But that match was the shortest match of the night. By far. Shortest match of the night. And I was stunned when I finished recording the match. I was like, 8 minutes for a return? Is that going to get over well? But I realized what I did, and how I sold that leg, and how I sold how powerful the hand of God finish move really is. I kept it, and nobody was mad at that match. People said that was one of the best matches of the night, and that goes to show you from everything that we seen on this show, that people said that was one of the best matches of the night. You know, I got comparisons. Yep. So, and that goes credit to Expert and everybody that in him mainly for putting together the Lorenzo Samson character, you know, and how he's portrayed. 8 minutes is saying something. You went 8 minutes with that dude. Samuel Lewis, Rob Havoc, they didn't even go a minute with him. They lost in seconds. So Johnny Evil should be proud that he went 8 minutes. With ring rust, because Johnny Evil hasn't wrestled in over a year in Game Time. He tore his ACL, so he probably was nervous about tearing his ACL again. That was the story of the match. Then fighting Lorenzo Samson, the pressure of fighting Lorenzo Samson. As you can see, Evil missed multiple moonsaults. He missed multiple moves because he felt the pressure. He felt like he might re-injure his leg again. You know, that was perfect. That was perfect storytelling. And I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the match back, and I'm like, dude, that's storytelling. That's storytelling. That was what was missing in my matches last season. Storytelling. Not overall why they were fighting. In the ring. My match didn't have paces. And the matches didn't have pace. And they didn't have a story being told in the match. You know? So, give credit where credit is due. I'm gonna say this, man. That Lorenzo Samson, it's a bad man, and he got a bright future. Look out for him. Look out for him. And you should be curious on what Johnny Evil's gonna do in the following weeks, because Johnny Evil was, you know, drafted. He's going to NXT, which I think is the best thing for Johnny Evil. Here's why. You know, going to NXT, a place that he's never been before, in a landscape where the Call division is the biggest and brightest it's ever been, is very, very good for him, because now Johnny Evil can find himself again. Now Johnny Evil can, you know, do stuff again. You know? Like, I'm dead serious, guys. Like, I'm not making this up. This guy was a beast. He was. He was a beast. Not making this up. Not making this up at all. Just crazy. Just crazy. Like, I can show you guys the calls I had that didn't transfer over. You know, look at these calls I had. No, some of these are, you know, some of these are used for other stuff. But look at this. There he is right there. There he is right there. I couldn't recreate that in 2K20. Not in the state the game. It's not the state that game was in. Shoo. I would have been the fool. I would have been a damn fool. You know. Right. If he would have kicked out, that made not a lick of sense. Because let me tell you why that made no sense. Lorenzo Samson bulldozed Samuel Lewis, who had the biggest ego in this series up to that point. He bulldozed Rob Havoc. Those two guys won championship gold. Lewis is a former Raw Tag Team Champion, former Creators World Area Champion at the same time, by the way. And Samuel Lewis is a former 2-time European Champion. Rob Havoc, former 2-time SmackDown Tag Team Champion with the UE. Former Intercontinental Champion. Havoc and Lewis and Jones are the 3 calls that have won gold outside of the Creators World Heavyweight Championship. Let that sink in. Lorenzo Sampson has beaten KJ Jones. Clean. Samuel Lewis. Clean. Rob Havoc. Clean. And you telling me one-handed guy can't take out Johnny Evil? That's bad. That's bad storytelling. If Evil would have kicked out of that, especially after what Evil after I said no commentary, he tore his ACL. He just coming back. Why would he kick out of that? That logically makes no sense at all. Oof. But yeah, probably one of my favorite matches of the night. You know, because just from a storytelling standpoint in that match, that match was fantastic. Yeah, it would have. I'm telling you, if he would have kicked out, it would have diminished everything we did at WrestleMania. And everything prior to that point of what Samson did. It would have ruined it. Pretty much. Like, that would have been very, very bad. Very, very bad. Alright. Moving on. I don't want to spend too much time on that. We still got a lot to cover. Round 2 men's. Round 1 men's, I think Raw took that round. Raw had a solid round 1. You know, just because of the 2 groups they took. Very, very good round for Raw. The round 2 men's, in my opinion, SmackDown had that. SmackDown did a great job drafting for round 2 for their men's division. AJ Styles versus Chad Gable. Okay, you want to talk about storytelling? Look at this match. I've never seen Chad Gable portrayed the way that he was portrayed in that match. AJ Styles made Chad Gable look like $1,000,000. And shout outs to Expert for that. That match was fantastic. Fantastic. I have no issues with that match at all. At all. You know? It made you believe in Chad Gable. You know? It made you want to root for Chad Gable. It made you want to get behind Chad Gable. That was great. It had pace. It was a technical masterpiece. And oh yeah, I want Expert to defend that. It was a technical masterpiece and it was really, really good. I can argue this. Gable kicked out of the Phenomenal Forum. I believe that was a shocker element to the match when he kicked out. You know, and it kind of elevated Chad Gable a bit when he kicked out. You know, but then again, I think the Styles Clash is more brutal than the Phenomenal. This is just me, and I'm an AJ Styles fanboy. The Styles Clash, that was the perfect finish. But you can argue he shouldn't have kicked out of the Phenomenal Forum. But the Styles Clash was more brutal, and the Styles Clash ended the match. Now, if he kicked out of the Phenomenal Forum and the Styles Clash, then I would have had a problem. I'm like, no, you don't kick out of both. You can kick out of one, not both. But he didn't kick out of the Styles Clash. That was the finish. Good. I was happy about that. But the Phenomenal Forum spot, it had the chat jumping. You know, it had the Chad getting into Chad Gable. They was like, okay, he can actually win this match. You can argue, listen, you can argue that he kicked out of it because of what he did in that match. Watch the match prior to the kick out. Well, listen to this. He kicked out of the Phenomenal Forum because he's not going to be a lower mid-card guy for very long on Raw. Even though people think he should be a jobber, I agree with that. I don't think Gable should be a jobber. I don't think Chad Gable should be a jobber at all. No, Blake, we are never ever calling Chad Gable Shorty G. His name is god doggone Chad Gable. I'm not calling him doggone Shorty G. What kind of name is that? From like a doggone Nickelodeon character. Shorty G. I'm double G. Drop that. Freaking from what that show called? Wait, who was Double G from that Nickelodeon show? I can't think of the doggone name now. Game Shakers, yeah, Game Shakers, yeah. But Vince McMahon probably watching some Game Shakers and say, you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna call Chad Gable Shorty G. Yeah, cause he's short and he has a G. Cause it rhymes like double G. It's stupid. I'm never gonna call no dog. Doggone Chad Gable Shorty G. And another thing is, Chad Gable was never a lower mid-card guy on NXT. Mark's NXT actually portrayed Chad Gable as a big deal. Chad Gable was going to war with Oney Lorcan. They had one of the best matches on NXT TV the last 3 weeks. They had the best match. Period. So I don't see Chad Gable portrayed as a lower mid-card guy. I feel he should be more than that. In my honest opinion, the guy can go. All he's missing is a character, and that's the problem. Look at Mercy's Chad Gable. He has character. He's a heel. He has character. Merce portrays him the perfect way. You hate Gable. You're supposed to hate Gable. That's the perfect way to portray him. Just give him a character. Give him a story. Then he'll get over. That's the problem with real life WWE. The problem why Chad Gable is not over with the fans is because he got a stupid name for one. And then he has no doggone character. The guy is too talented, but he has no doggone character. That's the problem. If you give him a doggone character, he'll be fine. Give him a character. That's why Mercy's Chad Gable is the best Chad Gable I've seen. Period. On YouTube. Because he has the perfect character, he's in the right system, and he has the perfect gimmick. And he has a perfect story going on. How can you say Mercy's Chad Gable is a lower upper mid card guy? You cannot even say that. Mercy's Chad Gable could main event NXT if Merce wanted to, because he's that good. That's taking somebody with no character, which the majority of the guys that can wrestle have no character. That's why they don't get over. I'm defending Chad Gable here, but yes. And then, to defend that, I already talked about the only look and stuff. But yeah, hey Sammy, what's up? Oh, hold on, let me check Discord for a second. Okay, yeah, all right. I'm gonna mention that in just a second. But yeah, that's the reason why Gable kicked out. Would I have done that? More than likely, if it's a cold match, probably so. He would have kicked out of the phenomenal form, but the Styles Clash, he wouldn't have kicked out of. No. The Styles Clash was the perfect ending. You know, that's why I didn't crap on the match, because he kicked out of only the phenomenal form. If he would have kicked out of both, then I would have had a problem with it. All right, solid match, technical masterpiece. Then we have Big E versus Ali. Okay, I don't know why, but a lot of people didn't like this match for some odd reason. Was it better than their WrestleMania match? Abso-freaking-lutely. The WrestleMania match was a disaster. I mean, it was a cold match, so I'm not surprised. But the WrestleMania match was a literal disaster. My only issue was an expert. I know Big E can go, but you really slowed him down. I kind of wish that this is just me. The pace was almost perfect, but the issue is it was a little too slow. I honestly wish he would have it would have picked up earlier than it did. Because it felt slow those first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the match. Like it was really, really slow. And it took me a while to get into it. But when it started to pick up and I got into it, and when you got into those spots, oh my God. Woo! Especially that one with, oh my God, that Big E did, Jesus. It was brutal. I ain't gonna say it. Go back and watch that. Watch towards the end of the match. When I tell you, you gonna love that. It was great, but I kind of wish it would have picked up, at towards the end, quicker. But you probably was used to the Cole match and how fast Big E ran, because Big E was rolling during that Extreme Rules match, like J&W just said. You went from a fast match to a slower normal match, which is like the reverse of how things can be. Yes. Because y'all know, last season my matches were very, very fast. They were fast paced, and it was spot. Nah, cuz we ain't doing that this season. No. So y'all gonna have to get used to slower paced matches that take time for you to get into. Because those matches tell stories, which I need to improve on, telling stories. So that was my only issue. If it wasn't that slow, if it picked up the pace a little bit, but not saying it was bad, it was great. It was great and well paced. Yeah, it should have been like it was with Sasha and Bayley. Sasha and Bayley had a Falls Count Anywhere matchup, which Bayley deserved, because Bayley finally got her comeuppance from manipulating the system and all that stuff. We'll talk about that in just a second. That deserved the Falls Count Anywhere match because of their WrestleMania match was a normal match. Roles should have been reversed here. I should have gave Expert the Extreme Rules, and I should have took the normal match. I think if I would have gave If I would have had the normal match, it honestly would have turned out better for me at WrestleMania, in my honest opinion. But have given me that Extreme Rules match really killed the vibe to the match. Yeah, and he recorded the Big E Ali match before he saw the Mania match. So you forgot it was he forgot it was no DQ. So he had no clue. So, you know, like I said, some of these matches were recorded while we were making WrestleMania. Because the draft and WrestleMania was recorded at the same time. You know. Yep, true. If you're gonna go fast, make it make sense. Make it make sense while it's going fast. That's a great point too. You can have 5 masters, you know, and still tell stories in them. Yep. And like he said, he was used to a fast-paced cold match. That's exactly what was Big E and Ali, or a fast-paced cold match, like the majority of my matches was. Compare my matches from the draft to what we seen at WrestleMania Las Vegas, it's night and day. Night and day. There wasn't fast-paced. The majority of them made sense. Despite only one issue I had with that Banks and Bailey match, everything else was perfect. But that was my mistake in production. But I'll talk about that in just a second. Hopefully y'all guess what the mistake was. But everything made sense, and everything was executed perfectly. You know. Right. So he slowed it down and made it to a David vs. Goliath match. Style of a match, and to get Biggie over as a dangerous and dastardly heel that would do whatever it takes to win. Great point. Great point. That's how it's supposed to be done. All right. Next match on the card, we had, speaking of, Banks and Bailey 2. In my opinion, the WrestleMania Las Vegas match was worse. This match was better. Here's why it was better. The WrestleMania Las Vegas story made sense. I don't say the match was bad, but I felt the thing that ruined the WrestleMania Las Vegas match was Bailey kicking out of 3. Sasha Banks kicking out of 3 greatest woman of all times elbow drops. When she kicked out of 3 of them, everybody said they just put their, they just put their hands up. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. And here's the thing. If all the WrestleMania matches ended on time and didn't run over, the WrestleMania matches would have been good to great. You know? Yeah. We're out of time. Right. So that was the issue with the WrestleMania matches. They ran way too long. The 3 elbow drops ruined it for me. Ruined it. And then the one spot with the knees. I think when Sasha Banks hit those knees, that should have been the match. Ball game right there. When Banks hit those knees. And that was the original ending to this matchup, and this matchup actually at the draft. Banks was supposed to hit those knees, right? Those knees that she does to the gut, and that was supposed to be ball game, but I actually changed it on the fly. And I'll tell y'all why. So the spot with the legs, you know, where Sasha Banks just stomping out Bayley's legs, actually was not supposed to happen. 2K, I was playing the game and I made a mistake while I was making this match. When the first bank statement was supposed to hit, you know, which is a good thing, you know, that's a great thing actually. When the first bank statement hit, that should have been the end of the match. Bayley should have tapped out, but I made a mistake and Bayley rolled her over, and Banks kicked out. So I was like, God dang it! So I was like, man. So I was like, okay, well let me come up with a creative ending. And I was like, you know what? Bayley used that sledgehammer earlier in the match. So I'm gonna let Sasha Banks get a chair and just stomp her legs out. You know? And that's exactly what I did. She stomped her legs out. Bow, 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 bow. You know? And then took her to the outside, Banks statement her on the outside, and tapped out. You know? But that first Banks statement was supposed to be the end. But I didn't run it over. I said, I'm not running this match over. So I said, we gonna end this match right here. So I got them chairs, and I was like, aha, what goes around comes around, Bayley, because I brought up the same thing. Bayley did the same thing to Trish Stratus when she was in the feud with her in season 6. When it was the greatest, which was considered the greatest woman to ever step foot in the ring, taking on the modern day greatest. It was past versus present for that feud. This Bayley did the same thing to Trish, stomped her legs out repeatedly, over and over and over again. That Trish Stratus in my series hasn't wrestled since. She has not wrestled since she fought Bayley, and Bayley stomped her legs out over and over and over again. That's why I said what goes around comes around, because that was storytelling from over 8 months ago. Sasha Banks was watching that match. Sasha Banks was ringside for that matchup between Bayley and Trish, and she seen Bayley stomping the leg in of Trish Stratus over and over and over and over again. So I said, Sasha Banks, time to play us something that happened 8 months ago, but in reverse. You know? And but in reverse though. And then boom, 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 it had happened. So that's why I said what goes around comes around. But yeah. And then the petty part is Bayley. It wasn't intended, but I realized this. Picky just brought this up. The petty part is the Trish Stratus, the women's battle royal, was named after her, and Bayley won the battle royal. That's the petty part about it. Wow. That's the crazy part. Bayley won the freaking battle royal, bro. With the name of Trish Stratus on it. So then you tie that back in what Sasha Banks did. It was like she deserved it. She deserved it. And here's the thing. Bayley was not even supposed to be in that doggone battle royal. That's why I got so mad on commentary. I was like, what are you doing here? This is for women that deserves the opportunity, that are looking to break in and break out. What are you doing here? You lost already. Why are you here? You know, why are you here? And I forgot to bring it up, and I was like, God dang it! This battle royal is named after Trish Stratus, the same woman that barely stomped her legs out 8 months prior, and then she wins the battle royal named after her. I was like, Bailey's a petty mother, dude. She really is. She's petty as heck, dude. I was like, and I was like, and it all came together. Shout out to Picky for that. Picky pitched that. Picky had pitched that Bailey match to me because I didn't want to have Bailey in that battle royal, but he convinced me and said, "Hey, let's do Bailey versus Sasha Banks again." But have Bailey get the heat by winning the battle royal, named after Trish, win the battle royal, and didn't have a fight Sasha on the draft. And boy, y'all popped in the chat. Everybody was so mad. I've never seen my chat so mad when Bailey won that freaking match. Everybody was mad. Everybody was mad, man. Oh my goodness. So it was nuclear. And it worked. It worked. It worked, man. Shout out to Picky for that. Alright. Okay. Then we had the first round of the women. Oh yeah. Probably the two ones that had people mad was the Batista win. Oh my god. When Batista beat Black. Oh my god. Everybody was mad at that. The Batista win and that's a close second. But oh my god, but that Batista moment though. Jesus. When I tell you people were chanting AEW in the chat. It was like a line of AEW chants. Then somebody said bull crap. And I was like, I texted JW after the match and I was like, man, we got something right here. I said, we got something. They was so bad. Jeez, man. I love moments like that when somebody gets into when somebody gets into a story and gets that invested, like you can just see their reaction to it. It's the best feelings in the world when you have a universe mode, man. I love it. I love how Bailey has her legion of fanboys that defend her and cheer for her no matter what. Yeah, it was at Hell in a Cell. Batista beat Black at Hell in a Cell. I remember it like it was yesterday. Because it was the rematch. Well, technically, the match that we never got in at Mega Man Event Reunion. Aleister Black was getting his WWE Championship rematch. Wait, yeah. It was I'm sorry. The Mega Man Event Reunion, they got mad because Batista beat him. Because Batista had squashed him. And then, Hell in a Cell, they had a more competitive match. And then Black lost again. And then people were like, okay, that's the breaking point. I'm tired of Black losing. AEW. And I was like, God dang. God dang, man. Yeah. But Batista took out Adam Cole before the match. And then the shocking moment was Batista squashed Aleister Black. Like, he destroyed him. And then everybody was so confused. I've never seen my chat so confused. They were so confused after and I wish YouTube never deleted that video. I'm so mad they did. Everybody got so confused after Mega Man. I was like, what? Huh? But Batista, he squat. They was like, what? They couldn't believe it. So then we had the rematch at Hell in a Cell. Match went 20 minutes. Great match. And Batista won again. So they looking like, God dang it. Yep. It was actually Adam Cole's perfect moment. Because the original plan was, I didn't know who to put over. I remember going on Twitter And I was like, I don't know who's going to win this match. And then J&W said, shouts to him, he said, didn't you have Batista on that SmackDown prior? And I was like, yeah, but Batista did compete. So he was like, you know what? I have an idea. Since you can't pick a winner, since both can't, since both can't lose, how about to get heat on Batista? Because after what he said, saying that he was promised a WWE Championship match and all that stuff from that promo that I did on SmackDown. How about you have Batista attack Adam Cole to gain sympathy on Adam Cole and to make him a babyface, attack him and take him out, and Adam Cole don't get his moment. He don't get the match that he's been waiting for with Aleister Black. Yeah, because the main issue with that match was everybody and their mama, grandma, cousin, and grandbaby seen Aleister Black winning that match against Adam Cole. They was like, there's no way Adam Cole is going to beat Aleister Black, because Aleister Black just took out the guy that had that amazing 1-year title reign, Finn Balor, 2 months prior. No, actually a month prior. At Unforgiven, which was one of the best matches I had in WWE 2K19. No doubt about it. Aleister Black and Finn Balor, still one of my favorite storylines in this series history. I loved it. And it had the perfect ending. It was Hell in a Cell, Demon King versus Aleister Black. Aleister Black finally, after everything he'd been through, beat Finn Balor. And Finn Balor disappeared. I wrote Finn Balor off of TV. And that was the last appearance of Finn Balor until, y'all remember, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Finn Balor came back after the WWE Championship match, in which Batista had retained. And that I believe it was a triple threat match, if I remember. But Batista had retained the belt, and Balor showed up and said, "Hey, I'm back," and he confronted Batista, and that set up the the Balor versus Batista match at the Royal Rumble. It all came back around. See, we always get distracted and talk about something else. But yeah, that was that Batista. That started the Batista storyline that just ended at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. But yeah, we were talking about the women. I'm sorry, y'all. I told y'all, like I said, I run my mouth. Y'all know this already. But yeah, everybody's seen Aleister Black winning from a mile away, so we swerved them and said, "Nah, cuz Batista's gonna swoop in and take that championship." And it was an amazing moment that I will never forget. Wow. But the women's round went, and I gotta say, actually, I gotta go with NXT winning. They picked some solid women in this women's round for round 1. And after that, we went to Seth Rollins versus Mark Andrews. And I gotta give credit where credit is due with J&W. There were 2 edits in this match that I freaking loved. That counter. Oh my God! It was fantastic. It's fantastic. That was probably the best J&W match I've ever seen. I'm not lying to you. That was the best J&W match I've ever seen. And J&W has had some great matches. I thought the best match was the WrestleMania match with Lesnar and Batista. That was great. Oh yeah, man. That superplex into that stun gun. I think stun dog. I can't say it. So that into that millionaire dude. Oh my god! I popped, and then that doggone ending, with when freaking you know, when him curve stomping Mark Andrews, you know, from the middle rope. That was brutal. That was brutal. Solid. Yeah, best match for my series. I can even argue the best match, period. But that's a stretch, because you do have some good call matches. I ain't gonna lie. But specifically, I don't think it topped one of my favorite call matches you've ever done, and that was the one when Darren won the title. That match is still highly regarded for me as one of the best call matches I've ever seen. But when Darren won the title, that match is still up there. But this came close. Seth and Mark came close, very close. Great job. And I hope, you know, after this little break you taking, you should feel I want to know your best match that you think. Yeah, that's my opinion. You know, I appreciate it. Yeah, no problem, man. I hope you feel energized. I'm like, man, you still got it. You made that match, and everybody praised that. You still got it. You know, don't ever doubt yourself. You can still do this, dude. You can still do this. So keep up the good work. And yeah, nobody paid attention, but Darren Tarleton got drafted. Darren Tarleton is in CTP now, and he's in NXT. No one paid attention to that. I think that was the sleeper pick of this draft. Y'all don't know what y'all gonna get into. Darren Tarleton is a beast. I'm telling you. Y'all gonna love him. Ooh. Yeah, that was good too. That was good too. I ain't gonna lie. That one was good too. Really, really good. I don't know why YouTube messing up y'all little lyrics. They make YouTube making y'all think y'all can't spell. Yeah. But great job, boss. I enjoyed that. And you made that on short notice too. He actually made that this week. Actually. So you gotta talk with the SmackDown writers. I believe Bayley won't be seen for a while after what happened. But I'm gonna have to double check with that. But I think she is suffering some of the minor injuries from what Sasha did to her. Poor Bayley. Nah, couldn't think of it. Not poor Bayley. She does it. Bayley's on Raw, so I don't know what the Raw guys are doing, or guy is doing, but we'll see. If Bayley's injured, but I'm hearing that she has some little minor injuries from that match, preferably her little ankle and leg. After Banks just stomped it out like 3 or 4 times. But yeah. What else are we at that? Then we had the second round of the women's. I think SmackDown won that second round for the women. They picked some solid women, in my honest opinion. They had the best of the bunch that we had left. Because NXT, while I love Alicia Fox, we have a lot to do with Alicia Fox to get her over. Lacey Evans, Emma Moon, and Sarah Logan were the best out of the last 9 we picked. You know, in my honest opinion, best overall solid. Second best is Raw, because I think that Naomi and Ruby Riott are sleepers. If portrayed right, those can be some stars in that Raw Women's division. But SmackDown easily takes the second round for the women. I mean, Nope. Like, NXT didn't even try it towards the end. But you guys missed some. I know a lot of y'all care about calls, but I'm going to name where every call went. This is a big deal. So Raw has, and I quote, Lorenzo Sampson, Vince Diamond, Austin Dynamite, Brian Perkins, King Dominator, and Michael Wolf. NXT got Dwayne Frost, big deal, Nate Shields, which you will be seeing very soon, Brian Asiel. Wait, they actually don't have him anymore. Oh, I'm sorry, they don't have Brian Asiel anymore. There were some trades made. Then okay, let me say this. This was before trades were made, because there were some trades that were made after this draft was done. So if you get confused of why you're seeing Asiel on a different brand, he was traded. I will explain it on commentary. Who he was traded for and all that stuff. I gotta make sure I explain those trades. But NXT do not have Asiel anymore. But we do have Johnny Evil, and we have Nightwolf, and Dino Man, and Gabriel. So Bray Wyatt keeps his little partner, Gabriel, but he loses Baron Corbin though. SmackDown, they have Samuel Lewis. I repeat, SmackDown has Samuel Lewis. Have fun. That's a big pick. Samson and Lewis are not on the same brand. I wonder how Lewis is going to take that after getting punched in the face at WrestleMania Las Vegas. I'm curious. KJ Jones. Ooh. A lot of y'all sleeping on KJ. KJ is a beast. Have fun with him, SmackDown. Gabe Keith. Now, this was big. No, wait. I think Gabe Keith is back in NXT. He was traded. Yes, they don't have they don't have Gabe Keith. I got Gabe Keith back. And I was like, no. He's mine. No. The real deal deserves NXT. That's my boy right there. They actually don't have him. Yes, Gabe Keith was traded for Brian Asiel. So Brian Asiel's on SmackDown now. He was traded for Gabe Keith. Julia Perkins. Now, we did not see a lot of Julia Perkins last season. We'll see how that one plays out. Feck West on SmackDown. We'll see how he goes. Feck in real life is back in the Universe Mode community. He's back in the circle. So I hope he likes being on the SmackDown brand. We'll see how that goes. Sassy Vega. That's huge. Sassy Vega, she really didn't do that much under Bianca Belair. But that woman's a beast, and she can go. She's a former NXT Women's Champion for a reason. She rolled in NXT. And I think if SmackDown can portray her good, yeah, they got something. And finally, Brandon Collins. That Brandon Collins that put on one of my favorite NXT matches of season 6. That Brandon Collins. That guy can go. That's a big one. Oh wait. We're not done yet. Raw has Brianna Train. Cole Train Jr.'s sister, is on Raw. Unfortunately, they're split up as Cole Train Jr. is in NXT with Sandy. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Brianna. I wish I could have got Brianna, but hey, it happens. CJ Jones. So KCS is no longer no more. It's only KNS again. CJ is on Raw. KJ and Samuel are on SmackDown. So we'll see how KJ Jones' cousin, is it friend? I think friend. No, long lost. What's it? I forgot what he was. But KJ's relative does. I forgot my own stuff. What he is to KJ. I gotta ask Ken Ass. Elizabeth Blade. That's fun. Is on Raw. NXT. Nobody pays attention to this. Darren Taunton. I repeat, Darren Taunton is on NXT. Darren Taunton. I repeat, again, have fun. The guy is a beast. Candy Vega. Now, this one genuinely surprised me when NXT got Candy Vega. But if given the right gimmick and given the right character, Candy Vega is special because she can go. She just needs the right story. And Bella Eisentiger. Now we seen Bella tease working with Rhea Ripley in NXT before, but I don't think Ripley's in NXT anymore. Let me double check that. Yeah, Ripley's on SmackDown. So now Bella can't fangirl for Rhea Ripley anymore. So we'll see what Bella Eisentiger does in NXT now. She stays in NXT. Yes, Dino Man went to NXT. Dino Man is black and yellow. He was on Raw for over a year. Didn't really do much on Raw. We'll see what he does in NXT, but that call division in NXT is stacked. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all which one I like the most, but all of them are stacked. All of them are really good. Tyler Phillip is on SmackDown. That's very good for Tyler Phillip. I think he can do some stuff on SmackDown. Same with Lisa. Lisa is very underrated. You know, I like the look of Lisa Vega. I think she could be a star. You know. And finally, Chris Danger. That Chris Danger, the savior of wrestling, that Chris Danger, is back in WWE again, and he's on SmackDown. He's on SmackDown. That Chris Danger. If you ask me who I think can carry each brand, these are my predictions. I don't think this will come true because it's up to the bookers if this will come true. But my standard bearers for each brand, Diamond and Samson, is Monday Night Raw. No question. Diamond and Samson are the top stars of Raw. For NXT, Johnny Evil and Gabe Keith. Yes, I know. Oh no, we gotta talk about Dino Man. Dino Man has been the most he's been so patient with me. I'm legit surprised Dino Man still watches me. I'm legit surprised. He's been so patient. I love people that are patient. People that are patient with me, they earn the most of my respect, especially in the call community. If you're patient with me and you give me time with your character, you will be a star. Trust me. That's why I push the guys I push, or I used to push. They were patient with me. They let me find their character. They let me develop their character. They pitched some things. I took it into consideration, and we ran with it. And if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. I love people that are patient with me. Be patient with me. Give me time. Then you'll be something. But I think Evil and Gabe Keith are my top two stars. Don't rule out Dwayne Frost and Nate Shields. We seen what the Dwayne Frost and Nate Shields are, doing or did. Well, see, especially what Dwayne Frost did. Don't rule them out, dude. Imagine if Nate Shields and Dwayne Frost team up. That NXT tag team division is in trouble if they do. Those two at the tag team, man, y'all don't want that. Ooh, y'all don't want that. Oh my God. Then you got that wild card of Darren. Darren can easily be your top star. The guy can go. You got a character. Darren is that dude. But I think Johnny Evil, he's going to find himself in NXT. I think Dave Keith is going to continue to rise. It's hard. It's hard. For that call division in NXT is stacked. It is. It's really stacked. Because you can't even say who's the best on the brand, because there's so many top stars. It's really stacked, dude. Y'all got some. NXT gonna have some fun. Imagine Johnny Evil versus Darren. Nate Shields versus Darren. Ooh, Frost versus Darren. Oh my god. Evil versus Gay Keith versus Darren. Ooh. Then you still got Nightwolf there. Nightwolf versus Evil. Woo! Dino Man versus Darren. Now that will be fun. That will be fun. Dino Man versus Angel. They got unfinished business too. You know? I'm pretty sure Dino Man hasn't forgot what Brian Angel did to him on Monday Night Raw. Dino don't forget, partner. Well, bro, I'm sorry. Brian is gone. I'm sorry. I forgot Brian is gone. Scratch that. Brian is gone. I forgot Angel's gone. Never mind. Don't listen to what I said. Scrap that. Anyway. Yeah. So, like, man, gonna have some fun. The SmackDown one. Angel Lewis, Jones and Angel. I've never done that before. I've never done Brian Angel versus Samuel Lewis. I've never done Brian Angel versus KJ Jones. That'll be fun. What if Feck finds himself on SmackDown and finally fix something that works for him? He can be their top star. Tyler Phillip, the guy is underrated. Very underrated. The guy's a star. If Picky can find something for Tyler Phillip, ooh, SmackDown's gonna be good. Same for Brian Angel. Brian Angel on SmackDown is a wild card. The guy can easily carry the brand because he's that good. See, that's what makes it interesting. Obviously, when you look at it, NXT has the best call division right now because of the talent that they have. Their call division is, the best. Because PJ Showtime is on NXT. Remember, PJ Showtime was traded to NXT. He's on NXT too. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, PJ's on NXT. Yeah, he is. That guy can go too. That young man can run. So that's why I say NXT has the best call division. Just because you look good on paper doesn't mean you're gonna execute on paper. That don't mean nothing. It was hard when I looked at these rosters. We're about to close in just a second. When I looked, before we talk about the main event, when I looked at these rosters, it was hard to pick who has the best roster. Because NXT got some guys. I think NXT is in a better position this season than they were last season. Most definitely. Last season, they got the scrapes of Raw and SmackDown, and they brought in some indie guys, and they made it work, and still deliver some great television and some great compelling stories. But this year, they got some guys and girls that can go, and they got some talent. Same for Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown, my opinion, this is hard to say. SmackDown has the best women's division. I think Raw has the best tag team division, and I think NXT has the best call division. The single stars, I can't even pick who has the better stars. I can't pick, because all of them got some great stars. I can't even pick that. Each brand has something good about themselves, which makes this fun. Really, really fun. If I had to choose the champions right now, I feel that this was really hard to say, but Raw has the best champions right now. Right now. Raw has the best champions. Adam Cole and Jay White. Ooh, that's fun. Shayna Baszler. That's fun. Raw has the best champions right now. Right now. That don't mean I'm going to say the same thing 6 months from now. That don't mean I'm going to say the same thing by SummerSlam. Right now, Raw has the best champions. You know. But oof. I can't even say singles divisions like mid-card, and I can't even defend and say who has the best roster. I don't know. I really don't know. I have to look down and look at TV. I had to look how each show is booked, how each show is run, how each show is produced. Then I could come to a decision who is the best. I don't know who is the best brand right now. We don't know. We don't know. I can't pick. I can't pick. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an overseer this year. I got bookers this year. I ain't booking nothing for Raw. I ain't booking nothing for SmackDown. NXT on their own. I'm an overseer. I may give you suggestions. I may, if a decision comes to fruition, I may do that. The only thing I am making decisions on this year is Survivor Series. No booker is booking Survivor. They're giving me the match card. I'm making final decisions on who wins. That's it. That's it. That's it. Also, I picked the Royal. I'm going to pick the Royal Rumble winner and probably Money in the Bank and King of the Ring. That's it. That's it. That'll make it fun. So, when we get to Survivor Series, the bookers ain't gonna have no idea who wins at all. No idea. Because I'm making final say. And what I might do is I might make every match at Survivor Series. I might. We'll see. Cause I don't want nobody to know who wins. I might give them a match or 2 or 3. But I'm making final booking decisions, which makes it so fun. So fun. So Survivor Series might be the best pay-per-view of the year. With probably SummerSlam, we'll see. Cause we've been working on some stuff. I'm telling y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna love it. And here's the thing: each show is run different. Each show is run different. Each structure is different. And you're gonna see that starting next week. Not a week from now. Next week. Because boys, NXT is done. All I gotta do all I'm waiting on for Raw is one more segment. And Raw is finished. All I gotta do is edit Raw and do commentary. You will see Season 7 weekly shows for Raw and NXT. SmackDown's going into production actually tomorrow. You will see SmackDown towards the end, either the end of next week or the week after. You will see SmackDown. Season 7 is on the way. Boys, it's gonna be fun. It's going to be fun. And any mistakes I made won't be made on those shows. I will make sure I take the advice of everybody that gave me advice on editing. We'll make sure we don't have that disaster of 360p. We'll make sure music is right. We're going to have a fun season. We're going to have a fun season because each show is ran different. Each show is ran with different minds. Each show is ran and it doesn't feel the same. And this is what I've been looking for the last 3 years. Making these shows don't feel the same as each other. And I finally found it. Let the games begin. It's about to be fun. Alright, last match we're going to talk about. You guys are going to be shocked, but this was a Cold Train production. No pun intended. I made the last match. Yeah. Go for it, boss. Go for it. Go for it. I made the main event. That was me. And the reception the main event gotten, I was genuinely stunned. People said that was the best match of the night. Now, when was the last time a Cole match on his own show was the best match of the night? Months. The Royal Rumble Expert had the best match of the night. The WWE title match. The World Heavyweight title match. Second best match of the night was J&W. The Elimination Chamber Expert had the best match of the night. The second best match was J&W. WrestleMania Night 1, J&W had the best match of the night. Second best match was Expert. WrestleMania Night 2, Expert had the best match of the night. You get it? You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like that cycle. I haven't had the best match of the night on my own show since I started having guests on in months. So, I was so happy when people said that I had the best match of the night. Same with TakeOver. Expert had the best match of the night. Jay White versus Walter. Second, Coda and Kenny. So, that's why I bring them on. See, when you give me quality content, I keep asking you to come back. See, and it also drives me to get better. That's what I love about it, about bringing those guys on. It drives me to get better and make an equal match of the night contender. That's why I have them on the shows. That's the exact reason why I have them on the shows, and they will continue to be on the shows. For that reason right there. They have the best matches of the night. Quality content. That's why you hear their names almost every month for every show. Because of that reason right there. But a Cole match was the best match of the night in some people's eyes. It felt good. It felt good because, like I told y'all, I took that criticism hard from WrestleMania in Las Vegas. And I said, I couldn't mess up this show. Match-wise, I could not mess up this up. I had to deliver. For my self-confidence, I had to deliver. Because people ripped my matches to shreds. Which I'm glad they did. That match, that main event match, no HUD, no reversal prompts. Everything was turned off. It looked like a Merce match. Visually, it had that style of a big deal. It was great. It was great. The only issue, which some people had, was the Apollo Crews entrance. And let me explain that. I don't know. I forgot that I had my 2K19 settings on. And I forgot, like, 2K19 me was kind of creepy with entrances. And gave all that pyro to random people. 2K19 mean was something. So that's why Apollo Crews had all that doggone pyro and had that green magic. I realized it. You know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course, boss. You know I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. They were brutally honest with me. I'm gonna be brutally honest with everybody else. If I didn't like something, I didn't like something. I'm gonna tell you. Simple. I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't lie to me. So that's what I was saying. So that was an issue, and I realized it because when the match was being made, I walked out of my room. I walked out of where I make my stuff, my little production room. And I went to give him a drink. So I missed the entirety of Apollo Crews' entrance. I came back when I came back in the room when Adam Cole was doing Adam Cole, baby. So I didn't even know what Apollo Crews' entrance looked like. I realized it when I was here's the crazy thing. I didn't even I didn't even look at it in Share Factory neither. All I did was just say, "Oh, here, click the clip," and I converted it to YouTube. But yeah, so I was like, I converted it to YouTube and everything. So my bad on the Apollo Crews entrance. That was probably the worst part of the match. Honestly. Other than that, nobody told me they had any issue with it. Well paced, told a good story, had a great finish. I felt good. I felt good. And I'm gonna keep that same energy going into Raw and NXT. I felt good making those shows. I felt happy making those shows. It didn't feel like I was stressed out about it. Because I think I got what that vine was. I think I got my swagger back. I finally got that swagger back that I haven't had in a long time. Since the Royal Rumble, I haven't felt this good. Because I was pressured. My anxiety was bad for WrestleMania. Y'all don't even know this. My anxiety was bad for WrestleMania. Then I felt bad. I felt embarrassed at WrestleMania. The Elimination Chamber, my matches were good. I didn't have an issue with my chamber matches because I felt that was a strong follow up to that record breaking Royal Rumble show. Because I felt I had to live up to the record breaking Royal Rumble show, which was at the time the most praise I've ever gotten on the show. So I had to live up to that show. Then I had to, follow that with a great WrestleMania that I didn't even deliver in. So the pressure was on me to deliver. And when nobody said that my matches didn't run over, nobody said my matches were well paced and well produced, I felt good. I'm getting that Coltrane Royal Rumble vibes again, which I haven't felt like in months. Or that Takeover Philadelphia, which I love Takeover Philadelphia, by the way. Great show. But yeah, that's my recap on the draft. Overall, was the draft better than WrestleMania? Yes. Was it better than night one? No. Night one was better than this. That's a good thing, because night one was the better night. Was it better than night two? Yes. If you look at, yeah, I'm mad too. My Miami was so good. If you look beyond the issues that we had with this show, this draft was better than night two of WrestleMania. I'm dead serious. It was. I feel that 3 matches on this show was better than the main event of WrestleMania. Is that a good thing? Yes, because that means you're getting better. Rollins versus Mark was better than the main event of WrestleMania. Despite the overbooking, Dar and Balor was better than the main event of WrestleMania. And Gable versus Styles was better than the main event of WrestleMania. You can even argue Cole versus Cruz was better than the main event of WrestleMania. So, yeah. I said what I said. Now, did they get close to that fatal 4-way on night 1? Close. But I think we didn't get there. But we were close. This was almost better than both nights. Almost. But I still feel night 1 had the overall advantage. I gave WrestleMania night 1 an 8.5 out of 10. I give this draft a 7.5 out of 10. A great follow-up to WrestleMania. In what should be a solid season of Universal. And that's how I'm going to close. Before we go, one more thing. This is coming from the SmackDown bookers themselves. We are changing the European Championship to the TV Championship. This is from the SmackDown bookers' mouths themselves. So the European title will no longer be in existence. We will have a television championship. The TV title is coming back to WWE. And for the first time ever in my series. So welcome the television championship. That's per the SmackDown booker mouth. That's a great decision. Now we will see what Raw does with their 5th title. I don't know what they're gonna do yet, but I'll let you guys know with whatever Raw decides. But I'll get back to you guys on that decision. But I'm getting out of here. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel down below. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Follow my Snapchat if you haven't already, if you have one. And subscribe down below. Thank you to the 2 new subscribers that we gotten from this draft. I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned to the community tab. I will be posting dates whenever Raw and NXT are ready to go for next week. But Universe Mode will return next week. You won't get that little break. All I gotta do is do commentary, and we are set and ready to go with Raw and NXT. NXT's done. I just gotta get Raw done and processed, and make sure it's HD for you all, so we don't have those issues that we had today. And then I will green light that to premiere. So stay tuned. I appreciate y'all for the feedback. I appreciate y'all for sticking through the technical difficulties that we had this afternoon, with the draft. But it seems you guys still enjoyed the show, which made my day. And thank y'all, man. I appreciate it. And thank y'all for your patience. I know I've been gone a long time. I know I've been doing a lot of other things. But y'all still always show up for these Universal episodes, which is the best feeling in the entire world. Because I don't do this for no money. I don't. I do this because I love it. And I've been loving it for the last 4 years. Now in year 5. And I feel the best I've ever felt. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for a great 2020 on this channel. 2020, other than my YouTube, for me personally, has been utter garbage. Well, personal life wise, it's been great too. But everything else in media world, it's just been bad. But this is my escape. This is where I can escape all my issues and problems. For these little 2 hour and a half, 2 hours for these little premieres. I don't gotta worry about nothing. I just worry about interacting with my community and my subscribers, which is the best feeling in the entire world. But I ain't gonna hold y'all on too long. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday night, and I will see y'all in my next video. I've been your host, Coltrane. Remember to be glorious at every single thing you do, and be phenomenal or be forgotten. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Good night. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And I'll see y'all sometime next week with the return of Universe Mode with season number 7.